Where you from? Man, I'm from down in the valley.
I got people trying to wish and pray that I'ma fall about it, all about it till we spoke in person. Don't wanna talk about it now, huh? Oh, you sound tough, toying with them, don't get wound up. How you wound up? Another number in the round up. Put the town up, built the sling up.
You mean like San Antonio? Nah, man, farther.
Got the east side flow. I'm a giant in the space like
Portal
FIFA. All the
956.
kids
V's up,
like
player.
EIO. Every time when they see my show, thinking that it happened overnight.
Let's start the show, Wattis.
All right, what's good, DITV fan? Today we celebrate a 956 kid committed to play at Southern Nazarene University in Bethany, Oklahoma. We want to welcome Brian Morado from Edinburg North. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. We want to definitely celebrate you. And like I said before, this is a big thing for you and your family. So I definitely wanted to celebrate that with you and praise you, give you your flowers and recognize the hard work it was. Like I said, I was a college athlete and I know how hard it is, man. The long days, those weekends, and all your hard work paid off. So I wanted to celebrate you. And if you don't mind, we can get into the rapid fire if you're okay.
Yes, sir. Of course.
All right. I don't know if you're a hip hop guy, but I like to ask this one to kind of get a feel. Drake or Kendrick?
That's a little iffy because I like Kendrick, but I listen to Drake more. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I like Kendrick 'cause he's a lyrical rapper, but I would say Drake for sure, just because that's what I'm typically listening to.
And they're both good options,
Hmm.
right? I mean, I think there's two different styles, but lyricists, but Drake does have some lyrics if you really listen to it after, because a lot of melodies with him, right?
Hmm. He
But
has a
if
bunch
you
of
listen to
different
what he's
flows.
saying, though, he spits some good bars.
Yeah, he has different flows. You can change it up on you. You never really know with that guy. He does it all.
Yeah, that's why he's one of the best in the game. Here's another one: tacos or barbecue?
Oh, barbecue,
What? Barbecue?
barbecue. Hmm.
What? All right. So in your family, I don't want to mess up the family dynamic. Your uncle, your mom, your dad, your cousin, who makes the best barbecue?
Uh, I would say my dad probably.
Your dad?
Yeah,
Oh, how
my
about
dad.
second? Who's second to your pops?
Mm, I've had some good barbecue from a few of my uncles, but that it's all right. Oh, actually, I got an uncle in mind. His name's Juan. He's my
Okay.
so probably my second him.
Shout out to Juan. What's his specialty? Does he a long smoker kind of guy? Is he a smoked chicken guy? What kind of meat we looking at?
His ribs. His,
Oh, ribs.
yeah, his ribs.
See, we haven't talked about ribs. That's a secret one, right? Everybody talks brisket, right? Everybody talks a little fajita, but the ribs, right? You do the 3-2-1 is what I've done before. That's a process of smoking ribs, but I like that. How about taco spots? What's your favorite taco spot?
I think it's called Maris, Taqueria Maris,
Okay.
and then typically like if we're just hanging out, we'll go to Palenque, Taco Palenque.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
so
that one too. It's got a little
those
expensive on me though.
a little bit.
Yeah. I went there last time with the family, and usually we spend like $40. It was like $60.
Yeah.
But their stuff's quality,
Mhm.
especially the different options they have. What's your favorite post game meal?
Post, I would say Canes.
Canes? I was gonna
Yeah.
ask Canes or Chick-fil-A. So Canes is your favorite one?
Yes, sir. I get myself a Kenya combo.
Yes, sir. I just had that Thursday. We went for those little fundraisers that they do.
Yes, sir.
So I messed with the Caniac combo. I ate three of them and then saved three for later. But I don't mess with the coleslaw.
I don't. Yeah,
Negative.
I changed it out for either bread or sauce.
I mean, I don't even know why they have that on the menu, dog. Like it's like who
Just
gets?
wasting
I
money
haven't been
on.
with anybody that eats. I think my mother-in-law, my suegra, likes coleslaw, but she's probably the only one that I've ever heard of to like coleslaw. So I'm with you on Canes. I'm not a big Chick-fil-A fan. I'll go just because my kids and my wife like it, but I'm more of a Canes person. Um, what's the best game you played in?
Last year in November against Bobcats, which is Edinburg High School.
Okay, why was that the best game? What was good about it?
it was a really close game. It was we the score was actually 6-7. Like it was
Whoa.
yeah. So it was a really tight game, and then during I think the second or last drive, the first play they tried to throw a screen, and I saw the lineman pop up, and then they're running out towards me, so I just slipped the block and lit up the running back. I was like,
Oh.
I heard the band was on beat with the hit, the fans went crazy. It was the best feeling ever, man. That game, and this year against La Jolla, I had a pretty good game. So and no, 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 I would say the Bears game this year as well. We went to double overtime. Double
Mm.
overtime. That one was good. We ended up losing, but man, there ain't no feeling like it. At the end of the day, there's nothing that can replace high school football. So
Nah, man, that's a true statement that when you're 45 like me, right? And we talked a little bit earlier before we jumped on, is everybody's a former athlete, right? Those games are going to stick in your head, and the brothers that you played with, right, are probably going to be people that you are have around you. And that gives me my next question: who are some of your best teammates that you had? I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but if you want to shout out any of your teammates and why were they something special to play with their senior year?
Um, first of all, my best friend, it's my brother, basically the quarterback, George Trevino. That guy is my brother, man. I mean, we there was a point in time where I had to actually live with him for a little while because of family struggles that was we weren't doing so good financially. You get me? So
Yeah,
there was a little point in time throughout my high school career where I had to be with him for a few months actually. So that just really, and then my transitioning from linebacker to running back, just like it was even crazier because when we first met, I was still at the linebacker position, and then our new head coach came in, whatever, and out of a sudden, me and him were just it was just instant. Like it was kind of like everything fell into place. You get me? So
yeah,
him, and then for sure my one of my old linemen, his name's Jerry Mancha, which is a guy signing this Thursday. Um,
nice.
he grew up with me. We started playing ball together around seventh grade, I believe. With it was a Taifa team,
Yeah,
Salinas. So that's where we started. We started playing a little bit of youth ball, and then we just happened to end up at the same high school. I had a few of the other guys as well that I played youth ball with. One of my D linemen, Smiley Hernandez, and then one of my linebackers, Jaden Rod. So it was kind of like I had the people around me that I had experience with them. So it felt pretty good to be at Edinburg North.
yeah. And those, like I said, those are going to be some relationships, especially Trevino. And shout out to him, man. I know life throws curveballs, right?
Yes, sir.
And you
Always.
really find out who your people are. Who's there to support you as a young man and as a kid. And it sounds like that the Trevino family really took care of you. So I don't know them, but shout out to them because it does take a village, right?
Yes, sir.
To raise somebody. And I grew up kind of similar, right? There were some tough times where we had to deal with it and we had to have some family friends step in and really help us out. So shout out to that family. Thank you guys, even though I don't know you, but it sounds like they made a big effect on you. So
Yes, sir. Of
that's
course
really
it is.
cool. We're gonna transition to some highlights, man. So I pulled up your huddle, right? And
Yes,
hey, I was impressed. I'm not gonna lie. You have some plays in here we're gonna talk about. So, but while you're watching this, what are some of the things that stand out to you here?
sir.
Oh,
Really, it was how fast I caught on like that. I was at linebacker week one against Vela, so it was kind of like, and then week two comes around and coach is like, you're starting at running back, and I'm like, oh, like, and he just kind of, let's go, and I was all about it, man. I mean, I'm never the type of guy that, nah, I don't want to do it, this and that. I'm not a selfish person, so I stepped up to the plate. I was willing to do what I had to do to see my team be successful, of course. So it was just kind of like, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just gonna go with it and make the best out of it. That's what I guess that was the only optional way to go about it. Because if I sat there and mourned about it, it wasn't gonna get me anywhere, man. So
yeah.
I just made the best out of it.
Now it looks like you have a lot of patience on your running game. I know you didn't play running back until your senior year. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I had already done it throughout middle school and some of my youth years, but it wasn't like, oh, I have it down, right? Like it wasn't like just an instant flip. Like it took me a little while to get adjusted.
Well, it looks like you adjusted really well. Some of these highlights show your patience. It shows your running ability. Obviously, you don't mind contact, right?
Mhm.
So I did notice that you have some pretty good truck moves on here. So, like I said, so based on a couple of the highlights I saw, your patience is a big key,
Yes,
right?
sir.
I did see that you do look at your blocks and follow your blockers and enter the hole on that. Being running back is a lot different than playing defense. And you said that you mentioned that you played in junior high. What was the hardest transition?
Really, it was picking up the plays. Like it was a lot of I guess it was from going from like a few words and knowing what I had to do, right? Like as in coverage and assignments on the defensive side of the ball, and then going to the offensive side, I had to know where the receivers were at. I had to know where my tight ends were at. I had to know what I was gonna do, what gap to look for, where my blockers were going. It was like, I mean, it was a big assignment, but I was willing to take it on. I mean, like I said, it was the best way to look about it.
Yeah, I also noticed, along with being patient, is you don't mind contact, right? And
No,
I
not
think
at all.
that's your former linebacker getting back at you because I see that you ran a couple cats over on there, so it almost looks like sometimes you were looking for some contact. Does that sound right?
Sometimes, I mean, when I had to, I wouldn't like necessarily look for it. But if you were in my way, either I was going through you, because I mean, my goal was to go score as much as I can, man. That
Yeah,
was always my goal. So I
and
was willing to do whatever it took to get to the end zone to say and was score for my team. I'm
who's that?
sorry
Your
about
little baby sister?
that, brother.
Tell him to come on in. We gotta tell him to say what's up.
Angel, come sit down.
He can join the interview. The future
Nah,
big
it's
back
okay.
of
It's okay.
Edinburg North.
He's a little shy. He don't want to come on here.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll be interviewing him in a couple of years, so we'll
Hopefully,
definitely get to
hopefully,
know Angel. So,
yes
um,
sir,
I mean, another thing I saw in the highlights too was your line, right? It
yes sir.
looks like you had some pretty good linemen opening holes. What do you have to say about your linemen?
Uh, it was a very young O line. It was for the most part. It was I think this year was three juniors, and then what do you call it? One freshman actually, Tristan.
Oh wow,
Yeah, he was a freshman, and then I had my senior, of course, which was the only senior on the line, Jerry Mancha. So it took him a little while. It took the whole team a little while to get into that little flow state. So it was just kind of like, I mean, especially with a young, not I wouldn't say necessarily young because they had experience, right? A lot of the juniors and stuff. But for the most part, I need you to scoot over here, Angel. It was just like once we got everything down, that's when we really saw what we were capable of doing, and the O line was definitely there. Our fullbacks are as well, Vince Cano and Jaden Pulido. Those were my guys, man. Those um they definitely helped me out a lot. So
good.
they were a big
Now,
part.
did you play all four of your years at Edinburg North?
Yes, sir. I'm zoned to economides, and then I've been zoned to economides my entire 4 years of high school. But I transferred freshman summer, and I started working out with the Edinburg North coaches, the Edinburg North team, whatever. And I I stayed there. I mean, that just proved my loyalty. I mean, I wasn't gonna, like they say, you sink with every captain has to sink with his ship. You get me?
Yeah. No, I think that's important, right? Especially with right now with a lot of people transferring, going to different schools and maybe looking for playing time. A lot of people are switching schools. And I don't knock that. I mean, it is what it is, right? Everybody makes their own decision. But there's something special that you stayed the course 4 years at North and was able to do that. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Valley right now because I think that you're from here, right? You're a 956 guy. Playing for the Valley, what makes it different for you?
Uh, Coming from the valley and playing for the valley, I think it's a lot harder for valley athletes to actually continue playing at the collegiate level. So that alone, man, it was like there was times where I would just sit in my room and question if I was really played out for this. You get me? So it was just like I don't know. It makes it a little harder, especially for Valley athletes. But I think that's what sets us apart. That we have that grit. Some of us just have that little piece in our heart that we like to work hard for things, and it sets us apart definitely from other athletes. And then playing in the Valley is amazing, man. There's no other feeling like it. I think that's one of the biggest things down here in the Valley. Being out there on the field on Friday nights and was the whole town hearing your name, man. It's no other feeling like it.
Yeah, one of the reasons it's weird because, like I said, I lived in California since 2000, actually since 1998. In 2019, we came back, and I would tell people that the Valley is a small town feel with some big cities around it.
Yes,
But
sir.
if you're an athlete, the whole town, the whole area supports you, right? And being an athlete in the Valley is a special feeling. So I'm glad you were able to get that feeling. Coaching, what coaches to you really made an impact on your career, and what coaches would you like to shout out? Whether it's high school trainers, what coaches made an impact for you in your career?
Okay, my first coach, his name's Coach George Espinosa. He's first coach ever. Actually, I remember when I first got to my practice, I had no idea what I was doing. They told me because we were going through a little drill, right? And he tells me go ahead and do a bear crawl, and I didn't know what a bear crawl was at the time. And he actually got and he showed me like, and I'm like, oh okay, and I got the hang of it. So him, and then there was another coach that year as well. His name was Coach Danny. His what do you call it? Trying to think of the word. I'm sorry.
That's all right, Coach Danny.
His name is Coach Danny, but he has a grandson at Edinburg High School, Ethan Calderon. So
Okay,
he played with me as well my first year, Ethan Calderon. But for sure, those two coaches, and then throughout the high school career, I would say Coach Granado, which is at Vela now. He was the running backs coach when he was at Edinburg North, and then
okay,
my linebackers coach, who was there my up until my junior year, Coach Longoria. He was a really good coach, man. He had us on top of our stuff. I would say when he was there at the time, the linebacker core was probably the strongest core out of the entire team. So he was a really good coach as well, man. I appreciate everything he did for me. And then Coach Morales, of course, that just got here to Edinburg North. He helped me set myself apart. He helped me get my name out there. The way we worked during the off season was insane, man. It was a whole different shift of momentum. Like our record might have not showed it. Things might have not gone the way we wanted them to, but definitely even now that I still work out because I still show up to the morning workouts with the juniors that are upcoming seniors and the sophomores that are upcoming junior stuff, all the underclassmen. I show up to the workouts. I'm probably the only senior in there, but I mean, it's you can feel the momentum of I don't know if you've heard of it, the snowball effect, where it's just
oh,
building up
absolutely.
to bigger and better things. So I completely appreciate the new coaching staff that's there as well. Coach Wilson, Coach Bowers, man, those guys were always there for me when I had questions, whether it was defense, offense, about my plays, in general, recruiting process. It was everything. So I appreciate everything that they did for me.
Good, man. So I know with the recruiting, a lot of things happen with the recruiting process. I think you had a couple different offers and different options to do it. Tell me about your recruiting process and how that went.
The recruiting process for me, it was a little shaky at times. Like there was times where I was in contact with a lot of coaches. I even had a few contacts from Division Ones, one in California, and then SFA. I had a few Division One schools reach out. I had, for the most part, most of it was D3 and JUCOs, and then Southern Nas was like one that really stood out to me because of the fact that they were willing to work with me a lot, and that really stood out to me a lot. I was in contact with the defensive coordinator, and as long as it was during the contact period, I would reach out to him on Twitter, through phone number, whatever I could, just send them little messages, ask them if they needed anything from me. Um, Highlight reels, because I have a few highlight reels. I have my junior season one, I have my mid season from this year, and then I have my, of course, my final one for my entire senior. So it was kind of it was a little shaky at times, but no, most definitely I had to reach out a lot to a lot of schools, emails, Twitter, phone numbers, anything I could really get my hands on just to reach out. You get me?
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that that kids nowadays are learning,
Mhm.
right? Is you always go into it with the impression that everybody's going to be looking for you,
Yes, sir.
right? But there's times where you got to look for them, right? And it takes a little bit of work ethic to get your highlight package together, send out emails, go to Twitter, and do that stuff. So you got to put in the work, right? Just like you're doing it in the gym, you got to put in the work for your recruiting. It sounds like you were able to do that. Did you take a trip to Southern, or were you able to get out there? Or how did that work with Nazarene?
No, sir. I couldn't actually because I had well, it was very last minute. Everything kind of was very last minute with Southern Nazarene. So they had me go on a virtual visit and then send them over all my info, and then that's when they officially offered me. So
Okay.
I didn't get to take a trip out there. Not they had sent me a few videos of the campus, the dorms, and then a few videos of the football. I know they have some videos posted up on YouTube, so I would watch those, the games and stuff.
Good, man. Well, we're going to transition a little bit into your family and your legacy, right? For you, you mentioned that your family is pretty important. Looks like, are you the oldest brother? You got all younger kids, or what do you got?
Yes, sir. I'm the oldest out of four siblings. It's me, my brother Santos, my little sister Camila, and then the youngest one who was just in here. His name's Angel Morado.
Okay.
So
And what does that responsibility mean to you, being the oldest one for your younger siblings?
I had to set myself straight. I knew that I had a really high standard and that they would be looking up to me. And I hope that I set the standard well for them and they have big goals. I know that my younger sister is definitely looking into being an athlete. My little brother's getting the second oldest, his name's Santos Moralo. He's getting into the track. That's where he's kind of been attracted to, not necessarily football, but I mean, as long as they're passing their classes, they're getting things done, I don't mind. And Lord knows if they'll be successful in sports. Hopefully they will. It's just I've always told them at the end of the day that's up to them. I'm a perfect example of that. I never had financial stability to get training. I never had none of that. So it was kind of like I would just wake up on my own. Let's go drills, whatever it was. Call up my friend. Let's go throw the ball around. Let's go get a little bit of training in. So I've always told them you're responsible for your own outcome at the end of the day. If you have the desire and the grit for it, you'll go get it. Always.
Yeah,
So
and that's a good message, right? Because nothing's handed to you,
yes, sir.
right?
Nothing.
Especially if you're from the valley, or especially from anywhere where your situation might not be where you want it to be, but you don't know any better. I grew up the same. I grew up in a place where it was tough, 2 bedrooms with 7 kids, right?
Right.
So boys on one side, girls on the other side, right? I didn't know what I didn't have, but I had a father that really pushed me, and I had to have some inner drive to be able to say, hey, you know what? I like this situation, but I want to get better,
Yes,
right? I
sir.
want to be able to show my other siblings what I can do. So it sounds like you kind of took that journey with them, and I'm hoping that they see that and they see how much you do it. And what I would like to say is, when you go to college, make the most of it, man.
Yes,
Get
sir.
that piece of paper, do your studying, stay focused. As a kid that comes from the valley, going to a different place sometimes could be really new,
Yes, sir.
right? And you got to know exactly who to trust, who not to trust. But your family is the one that's going to support you, right? And they're
Always.
always going to be there, and they're always a call away. And that's really important. Speaking of that, who in your family really motivated you and helped you?
Um, Coming from a childhood that necessarily we didn't always have what we need, and there's times where we were struggling. Definitely, my grandmother, my parents were always working, so it was kind of like I was raised by my grandmother. Actually, I have a little piece here on my arm for her,
Cool.
so I always carry her with me, and I made a promise to her that I was gonna be successful one way or another. I was gonna be successful and purchase her a house. Unfortunately, she's no longer with me, but a piece of her is always with me, and I know that she's watching up from heaven, and she's working her magic that grandmothers have, man. That's all I can
Yeah.
do. say. And
Yeah, the
then
abuela is always someone that we can always look back at. Was there anybody else you want to shout out?
my pops, man, my pops. I've never seen anybody work as hard as that man in my life. He works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sometimes even Sundays, and he'll be out there from 7 a.m. till 4 p.m. Sometimes he'll get home at 4 p.m., grab what he
Uh,
needs from the house, and sauce. Let's go again from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. till the sun goes down. Sometimes.
what's your pop's name?
Santos Morado.
Santos, man. Shout out to Santos. I know you said I asked you what he's doing, and you said he's outside working on the porch, right?
Yes, sir. He's building a
So
little porch here in the backyard.
and that's a blessing, man, because that coming and seeing hard work for you as a kid and struggles, and they're doing everything they can to provide as much as they can is something that you're going to live by. You're going to be able to take, hopefully if you're blessed to have a family, right, you're going to have that same work ethic, right? And even on the weekend he could just be chilling, right? He could be in the house watching TV, but your pop is outside, trying to improve the family, right? And he's trying to make it to where you guys can be comfortable. So shout out to Santos and shout out to your pops on that. Last thing for me, you seem like a very humble kid. And you seem like you came to and endured a lot. What do you want people to say about you that knew you in high school, and say when you're 30 or 40 years old and you meet with somebody, what do you want them to say about you?
I would say that. Well, obviously, I still want to remain the same person, which I'm pretty sure I will. I just with the same success that comes with it. If God has it in store for me, if success is what He wants for me, because I have one goal in mind, and that's to play professionally, whether it's like a little league that's professional, XFL, one of those, the American Football League. There's a whole bunch of leagues now, man. Even if it's the NFL, whatever it is, or even just graduating with my degree, that would be an amazing feeling for, I'm pretty sure, for my parents as well, and for me, because I'm actually studying to continue coaching after whenever my career comes to an end. I want to either come back to the Valley or whatever opportunities open up for me. So I would definitely say that I want people to say that I'm still the same humble kid that they didn't know, and that I still have the same grit. I still want to be the same person, man. It just, you know like, it's just, I don't want to. I want people to still, because people know the way I am. You ask about me. It's rare that you'll hear something bad. Of course, unless it's from somebody who doesn't like me very much. But
Right.
it's rare. You can ask adults, kids, the kids who grew up with me in high school. They all have the same response for the most part. So I mean,
Good.
that's what I would definitely want them to say, that I'm just still the same person that they look up to. And I say that because the day of my signing, I didn't even get to process the whole thing. Like, I sat down and I look up and the stands are packed from left to right, and I'm like,
Yeah.
when did this happen? And then, man, the amount of kids that were there, I was like, holy! It was like people from, like, my some of my old teammates as well, that they go to like other schools in Edinburg or in Sherryland, stuff like that, like outside of high school. So it was like, I was like, wow, man, I really do have a whole community behind me. So I still want to have that community behind me if I ever do come back to the Valley, and just for them to support me and, I mean, love me the way they do now, man.
Yeah, and that's a special thing to be able to recognize that you want to stay yourself,
Yes, sir.
right? And don't ever forget that, because you're going to get a lot of people, especially people that try to pull you down,
Hmm.
right? I think there's a guy, I don't know, it's Jalen Rose. He said there's always friends and people that add to your life and take away from your life,
Yes, sir.
right? And you have to be a good judgment of who is doing what. And growing up, and now that you're in college, you're going to be around different types of people, my guy, and you got to figure out and diagnose who's there for the right reasons. But if you stick to who you are, you stick to your family, you stick to the Valley mentality, right? Staying humble. I know you're going to do some great things, and I hope you play professionally because I'll be a fan, right? But like I said earlier, all of us are going to be former athletes, right? All of us. And getting that piece of paper, being able to say you did it, And then, coming back home, if it happens, and coaching and making the impact on other kids is an important thing. And we need people like that. We need people in the valley to come back like I did, and you can, and really, set us up for success. So I do want to say thank you, Brian, for coming on with us. And, we're here to celebrate everything 956, man. And you're just one of the kids out of many that we're liking to celebrate, and we want to celebrate. But I can tell you right now, we're proud of you, right? We wish you so much luck and blessings, whether it be to finish out your career in high school and then go on to college. And we're going to be fans, man. And we really want to see you thrive in life. And football is part of it. It could be a catalyst, but use it for what you can do in life, man. So I'm sorry for preaching to you,
Yeah.
right? But, I think it's a special thing, and we are proud of you. So I definitely want to tell you that how proud we are of you representing us in the Valley, and go on to do great things, man. I want to hear, those things you said about saying who you are, right? I want to talk to you in 5 or 6 years. And you're like, hey, Roy, remember that interview we did, right? I just watched it again, and I got a career in banking. I got a career, being an entrepreneur or whatever you want to do. So I'm looking forward to it. And I want to say thank you for taking your time.
Yes, sir. Of course. Thank you for having me, man. It's a blessing.
All right, brother. Well, like I said, DITV fan, we're here to celebrate everything 956. Brian is just another person to celebrate. So if you come in contact with him or follow him, just guide him, and let him know that you're supporting him. So I want to say thank you, signing off, and we appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Sir, God bless y'all.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.